What's up, faithful? You remember a couple weeks ago I was in Phoenix, Arizona for my boy Eric Brown's bachelor party. I had everybody get into the comment section to congratulate him on his future wedding by typing EB in the comment section. I want you to do that again because this weekend I'm going back to the Northeast to be in his wedding. Him and Libby Morrison getting married in Wilmington, Delaware, just outside of Philadelphia. I grew up with him. Awesome to see him take this next step in his life. But the purpose for this video, we're going to do a best of the 49ers report because I'm going to be gone for a couple of days and I wanted to cook up more content for the Niner gang right here on the 49ers report. So coming your way on today's show, best of the 49ers report, biggest storylines from this past week, and some of my biggest and best takes on everything going down with this football team. So sit back, enjoy, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and congratulate my boy EB by typing EB in the comment section. When it comes down to Deebo Samuel, him wanting a contract, and the 49ers planning for the future, I think the 49ers draft selections, the past two NFL drafts, have revealed their plans as to what they want to do with Deebo Samuel and how they envision using him moving forward, more as a wide receiver, like he wants to get paid as such, and less as a running back. You think about what they've done the last two NFL drafts, selecting three running backs. This past year, Ty Davis-Price out of LSU. Back 2 years ago, it was Trey Sermon in the third round. Later on, it was Elijah Mitchell. And I think what Kyle Shanahan wants, he wants that bell cow physical back who he can rely on, but also a revolving door at the running back position to keep the legs fresh for all of his backs. And in doing that, don't hand it off to Deebo Samuel 15 times per game. Still utilize him to his advantage where he can be a game breaker like he was last year, and occasionally utilize him on a gadget play, but not give it to him 7 to 15 times per game as a running back because he is a special talent and playmaker at that wide receiver spot, and you want to conserve him for as long as possible, especially if you pay him $25 to $30 million. You want him to be on this team for the long haul. And when you shift over to Deebo Samuel's perspective, there isn't much longevity when you play the running back position. The NFL stands for not for long, especially at that spot. And as far as the money goes, running backs don't get paid like wide receivers because of the lack of longevity at that position. So Deebo Samuel wants to be paid like a wide receiver, and to get paid like a wide receiver, he has to play more wide out and less running back, and he also wants to save his body because you think about how he plays with a lot of physicality, putting his hat down, not afraid to back away from contact. And if he can do that less as a running back and more as a wide receiver and take less of those big hits from opposing defensive players, then Deebo Samuel will get paid more and he'll be able to stay around longer at the NFL level and maybe get another contract after this one. Now to the much anticipated news and rumors around Trey Lance. ESPN, led by Jeremy Fowler, ranking all of the sophomore quarterbacks in the NFL. Where did Trey Lance rank? Number 5. Is it disrespectful? Is it not? You can chime in and sound off in the comment section and let me know. He is behind Trevor Lawrence, according to these rankings, Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, and Justin Fields. Now, by season's end, I think that Trey Lance will be able to matriculate his way up these rankings. I think he has as much ability, if not more, than any of these quarterbacks. And most importantly, as we're about to uncover, I think that Trey Lance is in the best situation among all of these quarterbacks with the talent on the roster and Kyle Shanahan in his ear in the headset. Before we take a look at what some of these scouts and executives had to say about Trey area, I want to hear from you. You just saw those 5 quarterbacks on your screen going into pivotal year 2. Where would you rank Lance among those aforementioned quarterbacks? Rank them from 1 to 5. As for what one AFC scout had to say about Lance, he's in the best spot by far, but I don't know if he's ready. Coaching and system will help him tremendously. An NFL executive saying this about number 5, he will be fine. He's talented. He's going to make plays with his legs. He has the best play caller in the game in Kyle Shanahan, who will put him in a position to succeed. And this is why I think that Lance can succeed. And this is why I have confidence in him going into year 2, outside of some of these other sophomore quarterbacks who previously have had a lot of success. Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. They were all in pretty ideal situations with good complementary pieces around them. Trey Lance has that with Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Jauan Jennings, Danny Gray, Trent Williams, as well as what could be one of the best defenses. Most importantly, though, a very good head coach and a front office that's always willing to spend and willing to surround the quarterback with the necessary talent. So I agree with that sentiment there. One NFC offensive coach said this about Trey: I think they were 100% taking Mac Jones until they saw their fan base overreact. Now, I disagree with that because I don't think that pro teams put feelers out there and they make decisions that are predicated on what the fan base is saying. If that were the case, a lot of these professional organizations would hit that panic button, they would crumble, they would fail, and at the end of the day, that's when head coaches and general managers get fired. I don't think San Francisco tapped into the pulse of the fan base. I think they just realized that Trey Lance's ceiling is unlimited. There's no cap on that. For Mac Jones, there is, and I think we're about to see that in 2022, especially if Joe Judge or Matt Patricia is the damn offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots. An NFC scout on Trey Lance: the throws he makes in flashes are insane. The athleticism and toughness to go along with it are real. He's had time to get his feet wet while observing. I think that always ends up well for the ones with high ceilings like him. And that's what I've always kind of said about Trey Lance. The potential is limitless for Trey. Trust the staff led by Kyle Shanahan, who let go of a couple of coordinators, restocked some of that offensive staff to build around Trey Lance, to make him the future of the franchise, the face of the franchise, and to extract the best out of him. And the supporting cast, as I talked about, going to be pivotal for Trey area going into year two. All those reasons and his work ethic, him staying in Santa Clara an extra week when he didn't have to put that work in, get in the lab to further work with his teammates, all good signs for Lance moving forward. At this point, the San Francisco 49ers have to be realistic about what they can get back for Jimmy Garoppolo in a trade. You go back several years ago when they made that trade with the New England Patriots, they gave up a second-round pick. It was worth it. 2 NFC championship games over the past 3 years, a Super Bowl appearance back in 2019, Garoppolo in 5 years in the Bay, able to win about 71% of his starts, but physically, he lacks elite arm strength. He's not the best athlete and runner of the football. He's also been injury prone, and you're looking at a quarterback right now who already lacks elite arm strength and now just underwent shoulder surgery. And there are some unknowns about when he's going to be able to pick a football back up and start throwing later this month or July. So before the shoulder injury happened to an already injury-riddled quarterback, I thought San Francisco could have gotten a second-round pick. At this point, I don't think that's realistic. If you can go late day 2, early day 3 pick for Jimmy Garoppolo, that right there is good value, and San Francisco has to be realistic about what they can get back for Garoppolo considering his salary cap number of $26.9 million this upcoming season. Now, I want you to rank Jimmy G among all NFL starting quarterbacks. I want you to imagine that Garoppolo is a starting quarterback in this league this upcoming year. Where does he rank among all starters? 1 to 32 for me. I think he's in that middle range. You let me know down below. As for what we've been seeing from JJ, really reliable hands, rarely drops footballs. Last year, he was great on third down, great on fourth downs. As kind of that security blanket wide receiver, he's a really crisp route runner, which is an underrated element to his game. And in the slot, at about 6'3", usually teams will employ a guy who is shorter, who has that wiggle, who has that burst, who kind of runs like a jitterbug, right, to shake free from some linebackers. But Jauan Jennings, opposite of that. He gives you size, he gives you length, and underrated athleticism. And for Trey Lance, can be that security blanket for him on third down and fourth down. If some of the other reads aren't there, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, it seems as though Jauan Jennings is always awaiting to make a big play. I talked about Jimmy Ward heaping praise on Jauan Jennings. Here's what he had to say about JJ. Jauan kind of surprised me to a little bit, He's got a lot more talent than I thought he had. He's a great route runner, and he knows how to work his leverage. And sometimes when we evaluate wide receivers, we look for quick twitch guys. We look for guys who have burners, who have that pull-away speed. But what's so important? Reliability of your hands, route running, and small things like leverage. Because in the NFL, windows can get really tight. And sometimes separation doesn't really matter. Jauan Jennings, he opens up that space for his quarterback to deliver the football. And who cares if he doesn't have the greatest speed? If he's there, if he's open, he's had the propensity to make big plays for the 49ers offense, and I think he's going to be able to do that this upcoming year in 2022. He is an offseason winner, and with that, I ask you this. If you think Jennings will break out this upcoming year, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. If you don't think he's going to break out, I want you to name a different breakout candidate in the comment section right now. Now, Bleacher Report predicting the next wave of mega contracts in the NFL, and it, of course, included Nick Bosa and Deebo Samuel, who were looking for contract extensions. For Bosa's projected contract, it would put him right up there with Aaron Donald and make him one of the highest paid non-quarterbacks in the league. 5 years, $150 million, average per year of 30. That's right in stride with Aaron Donald. Guaranteed money, $105 million. As for Deebo Samuel, pretty solid figures here for him and his camp. If they land this contract, I think he's going to re-up with San Francisco and be a part of this team for a little while. 4 years, $110.5 million. Average annual value just shy of $28 million. That's really, really good. And keep in mind, salary cap going to continue to rise with these new TV deals, so you can get a bargain deal right now because wide receivers like a Justin Jefferson in a year or two, he could honestly get $35 million per year. I don't think that's crazy to say. Guaranteed cash for Deebo, checking in at $70 million even. So I want to put you in the shoes of John Lynch, Parag, as well as Kyle Shanahan. You're having these conversations. Okay, who should we give the bag to? Who deserves more dough? Let me know down below in the comment section. 19 for Deebo Samuel, 97 for Nick Bosa. Let me know and embrace debate. Interested to see what you all come up with. Thanks for watching today's show. Don't forget to subscribe. Got to get to 60K. Otherwise, I'm canned.